So we go on with the next speech. I think it's an online speech, I think. It's from Aldo Ramirez from Iris in Spain regarding the PRESERVE project. Aldo is a PhD in chemistry at the University of Liverpool. He's a project and innovation manager for Iris, a Spanish SME located in Barcelona, and specializes in the design, development, deployment, and optimization of digital tools to accompany enterprise to the digitization and automation. Okay, so Aldo, if you are ready, please, the floor is yours.
Yes. Do you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to thank everyone in the consortium for the invitation, as well as the organization committee of the event. I hope you're having a good time in Pisa. And well, my excuses for not being there, but you know, agendas, that they have this problem. So I will just share my screen with all of you. Okay, do you see it? Perfect. So, well, I will try to explain in a nutshell what PRESERVE is and what we are tackling inside the project. As you can see, we are a European funded project called PRESERVE, after this title over here, High Performance Sustainable Bio-based Packaging. And we are a group of companies and RTOs of 26 partners. You can see here over the map how we are well distributed in Europe, and on the right side a small scheme of a few of the partners involved in every step of the project on the view. PRESERVE is a 4-year duration project, and we started 1st of January last year, so we will be happily hosting our 18-month General Assembly actually next week. And yeah, the progress of the project has been on time. Well, why PRESERVE is needed? So basically here we make reference to the needs we find over Europe, and especially to the neutrality conditions needed to be achieved by in 30 years time, and the circular economy regarding plastics to be achieved, policy to be achieved even before that, so in less than 10 years. These 3 bullet points here, they summarize basically the needs that we find and where the PRESERVE proposal was born. So basically, new high-performance bio-based materials need to be developed, and the scale of production of these materials need to be upgraded. But not only their production, also the amount and the and the techniques we use for the recycling of these materials. Currently, we have established some techniques, some routines, even some business lines for the recycling of these kinds of materials. But we need, as a global need, we need to increment these approaches, and as well as establish new, modern, and more sustainable ones. Finally, the application of these bio-based materials need to be expanded, not only in this case in PRESERVE, as well as in the previous project we see, not only in food packaging, but also cosmetics and healthcare, pharmacy, all kinds of industries. Going a bit deeper in what PRESERVE is, here I just show you in a nutshell the 3 of the main PRESERVE objectives, again based on the biomaterial upcycling, then the end of life of those materials, meaning the recycling, and finally the impact of all these techniques and new findings that we'll have in terms of energy and environment. Basically, here we have a roadmap in which we have new biopolymer synthesis from the industry. These materials go directly into, in this case, textile and composites and packaging, which is the key fields that we are tackling. After they are used, usually a small part of them are recycled, but most of them just go loose over the nature. So here is where preserve makes sense, and we establish this end of life in here, in which packaging waste and textile and composite waste will come in here. We are studying the use of different techniques for material recovery, such as delamination and self-reinforcements of the components, as well as different kind of biodegradation techniques in order to recover by biodegradation biomass that can be used again to the building of new biopolymers. And in this case, for the delamination and the self-reinforcement, we will have recycled biomaterials that can go directly into textiles and composites, again, not even passing by the new synthesis of biopolymers. So if we pay attention to this cycle, of course, it's a very challenging, and of course, it will require a big amount of time, of effort, and studies, and funding. We will try to close this circle in order to reduce the impacts that we are currently having in economy, in energy, and in the environment. Here, I will just show a list of the applied techniques that we are currently using in Preserve, mostly protein-based coatings and adhesives for the food packaging, PHA and BPHA produced coatings, and then other sorts of techniques in order to reinforce the properties for the lids and for the trays used in the packaging. On the right side, you can see a few examples. Most of them, as I said, will be focused on the food packaging, and we have also a specific part of the project working on the upgrading of biomaterials used for cosmetics. In here, we are tackling two different demonstrators. As you can see here, one will be the flasks, this one for the creams, and the other one will be most probably this one for the disposable towels. Now, the project itself is distributed, as you can see in here, different work packages in which we have one work package was in charge of the definitions and the specifications of the entire materials and techniques that we are going to be using. Then 4 main work packages, which are the technical ones, divided into the development and the upcycling of the materials, then biodegradation and the compostability tests, and finally the upcycling and validation of the materials and the upgraded materials into the real demonstrators. All these schemes here is wrapped up by the safety, environmental and economic work package, which is led by NTT and Daniele that just speak before. And we have also a very, very broad work package covering the entire project, work package 8, led by our colleagues in NEA. I think they are also over there. And they're in charge of the communication and the dissemination of the project. And this is a very important point because in Preserve, we believe in the scientific background that we have. We believe in the approach, the scientific approach and technical approach that we're having with everything, but we also believe in that we need to spread all this work, not only in deliverables and not only in scientific findings, if you want to call it like this, but also in real impact and real opinions and information for the people to see what we are doing. Finally, of course, as in every project, not everything is party and not everything is all right. So in here, I want just to highlight a couple of challenges that we are currently facing. One is strictly related with the development of the PHA, one of the polymers that we are using, and the coatings applied to this PHA. In here, basically, will be the optimization of the formulations and also the characteristics that we need for this PHA to be useful to the specific ends that we need. And finally, the metallization of the protein coatings that we have right now. The first results we have, they are very promising, and we believe in the next few months we will have a new batch of metallized protein coatings that will be directly probably going for the next step of the project, which will be the upscaling. But right now, I just wanted to mention that these has been the 2 main challenges in terms of technical activity that we have been facing in Preserve. Well, as I said, the communication and the dissemination is one of the strong things that we need to reinforce. And in order to explain this, my colleagues Mara and Natalia will be better suited to explain this. So, Mara, please, if you want to,
Thank you, Aldo.
to go on, let me know when to pass the slides.
Okay, so thank you, Aldo. And as Aldo said in advance, at Preserve, we really believe that in order for those results to have an impact, we need to engage not only the scientific community, but also the general public. So since the first stages of the project, online, of course, communication is really relevant. So in the communication deliverable, we identify different communication phases according to the advances of the project. And also we have a content plan for the publication, so as if it was like a journal, let's say. The collaboration with project partners is fundamental in order for attaining relevant insights that can be published, of course, without any confidential information, and in a way that is as simple as possible in order to make the general public know what is being done and how also the general public can contribute to these results. Also, we really love to have a wide group of stakeholders and other partner projects. We support each other reposting information from the activities they are performing so that we can build a network. And also, I will leave the floor to Natalia, who will talk about the crowd Helix.
Sure, thank you very much, Mara, and good morning, everyone. Just very briefly about myself, my name is Natalia Grząba, and I work at Crowd Helix. We're one of the Preserve partners, and we're responsible for the Circular Plastics Helix and for clustering activities. So about the Helix, the Circular Plastics Helix, it's a virtual community of experts in plastics, recycling, and circularity hosted on the Crowd Helix platform. The community was first launched back in 2019 in the frame of another project called Multicycle, and now in the frame of Preserve, we are expanding the community, giving special attention to the stakeholders in the area of bioplastics. Currently, the community counts more than 500 experts coming from approximately 170 organizations, and these are very different organizations: RTOs, SMEs, network associations, also some public organizations. The main content of the Helix are collaboration opportunities. This means that you can use the community to, for example, seek partners for a proposal that you're involved in, or maybe offer your expertise, or perhaps announce an event that you're organizing and you're looking for specific relevant participants. The community is open to anyone who's interested in plastics and circular economy. So you are most welcome to get in touch, and you'll see my email address at the last slide. And I'll be very happy to help you set up your account, and then you can just start benefiting from the community that we created.
Thank you, Natalia. Aldo, next slide, please. So, also, together with communication, we have dissemination, as you already know. It is a really relevant part in European project. At Preserve, we believe that dissemination is not only about publishing results, but it's also about supporting further research, not only from the consortium partners, but also from the general network of researchers. So we created a dissemination plan, which is intertwined with another relevant deliverable and plan, which is the training plan for knowledge transfer and educational sessions. For this plan, we identified internal Preserve entities that will enable the know-how transfer internally and externally by organizing different workshops that will be publicly available. And also for, let's say, more practical terms, we created a Zenodo community to ensure open access of the articles and also the data sets where possible. And we created a web page with training materials where we publish all the presentations, posters, and also articles that were presented during workshops organized by Preserve or by other entities in order for these materials to be available for everyone, because we really believe that the impact will be done only by sharing the results. Aldo, the floor is yours. No, sorry, Natalia, maybe the floor is yours again.
Thank you. So briefly about the clustering activities that we do here at Preserve. So clustering with other projects and networking with relevant stakeholders and other well-aligned initiatives is very important for our work at Preserve, not only because this is something the European Commission is encouraging us to do, but also because we believe that by working together, we can achieve better results and we can create greater impact. For this reason, pretty much since the very early stages of the project, we are working closely with the two sister projects funded under the same call. These projects are called Uplift and Upbed, and we meet regularly. We have already organized 2 joint online workshops. The first one was an introductory one about cycling bioplastics of food and drink packaging in general, and about the importance of clustering. And that happened in October 2021. And the second one took place just a few weeks ago at the end of April, and it was focused on standardization in plastics and circular economy. And additionally to the events, we also coordinate our communication and dissemination activities, particularly on social media. We share best practices. Later on, plan to work together on policy recommendation. And here again, if you are involved in a similar project, please feel free to get in touch. We're always happy to meet new initiatives and see what we can do together. And that's really all from my side and from our side at Preserve, I believe. So on behalf of Aldo and Mara and the whole consortium, I'd like to thank you very much for this opportunity to speak to you today. You can see our email addresses on your screen. So thank you and have a wonderful conference and a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
So thank you, Natalia, and of course also to Mara and Aldo for this interesting multi-person presentation, which was really, really interesting. And we have time for one question for the audience. The floor is open. Please.
I would just like to encourage everyone as well from questions that from Preserve we have a lot of partners there in the conference, so please feel free to approach them and ask everything you need as well.
Okay, thank you.
I think you can predict my question. What PHA is being produced, by whom, and at what scale?
Aldo, I think this is for you.
Yes, what PHA? Well, we are tackling mostly mid-chain.
Medium chainland.
Medium chain, yes, PHA, from whom, where we actually are trying to produce it. We're producing it via biosynthesis and together with chemical optimization. And our current partner is called Biopolis. They are an RTO here in Spain. And what scale was the last one?
Yes.
Yes, so at the lab scale, we started, of course, with a few grams. Now we are on a semi-pilot scale in which we are producing around between 3 and 5 kilos every 15 days. And hopefully we will have over the next few months an even upper scale in which we want to tackle between 10 and 15 kilos every 2 or 3 weeks for the upscaling and use it to the demonstrators.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Okay,
thank you for the
thank
question.
you, Aldo, for your answer. And I think we're a little bit out of time, so please thank again Natalia, Mara, and Aldo for this interesting presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.